Fantastic. It is Howard Anstock.
Or the Northwest Premier Matthew Kelly lookalike. Thank you, Norma, for giving me clap. Wasn't expecting it in Widnes, to be honest. I grew up in a small village in England. Usual place, casual racism, incest were the main themes. Luckily I got away not affected by both. I did check that with my dad and he went, you can tell people I'm your dad. If you told people I'm your dad, tell the police I'm your Uncle Dave. So there was fuck all ever happened in the village. We had a paedophile for a summer. That was quite good fun. Man in the white van, that's what we called him. So, in fairness, he was dishing out midget gems. He was getting no kid with that shit. I was quite an ugly child. My mother was quite offended I was the only one in the village that hadn't been picked on. So we used to find where he was parked and she just used to make me walk past him. And I'd turn around and she'd go, now sexier. That's paedophilia and incest done. That's where we can get rocking with this. And I mean, it's nice. You lucky in towns with your underage drinking and your teenage pregnancies. You know, the only thing we ever had was a village fair used to come once a year. And in fairness, they were quite a rough family that used to turn up. And they had a waltzer, which one of the sons used to run. And he went, just to be cool, I've had my name put on my knuckles. And I went, what's your name? He went, Daniel. It's like a really shit Tommy Cooper. The mother used to run the food stall, and she was quite terrifying, to be honest. She used to start drinking quite early on, to be honest, in the day. You'd get there, she'd just have a hand in the candy floss machine, no stick. Just, well, like she's pulling a pensioner's head out of a bucket. And the dad used to, my favourite, because I was a kid, I grew up on American Werewolf in London. We all look like we'd know that. For anyone younger in the audience, it's like Twilight, but without vampires and not shit. And it was just the converted back of a wagon that he used to stand behind different windows and just move along with a mask on and just go, The last one being the werewolf, which was great. And after about my sixth time round, I said to my mum, this is bollocks. And this really angry werewolf just flew out the back of the lorry heading towards his caravan going, you want to teach your kids some fucking manners, lady? It's like, fabulous. A bit later in life, I became homeless. So, true story, I lived on the streets in Manchester, different hostels. My only experience of a hostel was meeting a man called Sausage. And I went, is that because you're short and fat? And he went, no, it's because I like sausages. It made it really awkward after that, to be honest, because I basically just insulted the one tough guy in there. And last year I bought my first house, so, you know, that was quite a big thing, thank you. The only people who were really fucked off about it was my middle class friends. Because inviting a gay homeless guy round for dinner, I used to score quite highly on the minorities' top trumps. You know, as soon as I stopped being homeless, it was all about the hearing impaired Asian lady. Everybody wanted, get her around. It's like, all right, Mrs. Patel, fuck off. So, and you can spot middle class friends. There's certain signs they give out. They lived in Chorlton in South Manchester. If anyone doesn't know it, just think man buns and bean sprouts. It's that kind of crowd. No, blokes with onions in a string bag, that shit. And the second clue was they write cunty things on Facebook, like they go out for dinner and they write, good food, good company. It's like, well, who's going out for shit food with people they don't like? Surely it's good food, good company every time. So the most horrifying thing was they went on Grand Designs to have their house, well, not have the house built, you just let that Geordie follow you around for 12 months telling you you've put the windows in the wrong place. And then he turns up, doesn't he, a year later and goes, they're still in the wrong place. So they went on it and two things happened, because there's only two things ever happen in Grand Designs. They got the roof on before Christmas, so that was good. And she did end up pregnant before the end of the build. And you just think, how more difficult can you make building your own house by hand to go, do you know what would really make this tricky? If you were up the duff. And the house is due to be built in 10 months and the baby's going to be out a month before that. It's just, how have you not planned this in? And also, how do you have the physical strength to knock out another human being? I'm not being crude, ladies and gents. I'm 42 and sometimes halfway through a wanker thing. Probably going to park that one. Come back later, I'll diarrhea in, But yeah, and the thing is, I've never been a flag-waving gay. I've always, identified more with my straight friends. Because to be honest, being gay is rubbish. It's so boring. It's just, I'm never, all these flag waves on back to lorries, fuck it off. To be honest, it's just, I enjoy the dinner parties and shit at the orgies, to be honest. With that many things flying around that you have your eye out, I just ended up stood at the side with a high-vis vest on, cordoning people off. And it's also sometimes the dumb questions you get asked, like, how do you know you're gay if you've never slept with somebody of the opposite sex? I went, do you know you wake up in the morning? No, you're not a Labrador. Just look in the mirror and think, I know I'm not. It's fine. And homophobia's on the decline, to be honest. The only people that hate us now are American cake makers. Have you seen them? Fucking hell. It's like, dude, you do the gayest job in the world, you make cake. And of all the cakes you could pick, you make wedding cakes, which are the gayest of the cakes ever. It's like, not writing two men's names on it. It's like, fine, just put two interlinked flaccid cocks and we'll just have that. So, and the other thing is, when you've been homeless, people sort of think, you've been on some like amazing journey. It's like, fucking five all goes west. And I learned a lot less than I expected to be honest, ladies and gents. I will share some of my homeless days stories. The first one being, there's a lot more arm wrestling amongst the homeless community than I was expecting. To be honest, nowadays it's just all street brawls and spice. In my day, we had a bit of class about us. And I was kipping in a park in South Manchester called Alexandra Park, and I'd picked a bench for the night, which I thought, I'll bed down on here. And this big, she's not big, this wiry little Glaswegian woman came across and we called her Stella, because it was the only badge you ever saw her carrying. And she walked up and she went, "That's a nice bench, sweetheart, I'll fucking arm wrestle you for it." And I thought, she's a small woman, I'm a big bloke, let's have it. And by the end of the evening, ladies and gents, I was enjoying my night's sleep in Chorlton Street bus station. A few years later, I became her support worker, which was a weird twist of events. And we ended up in Wythenshawe Park, and I bought a bag, a new pad, pen, all that. I thought, I'll do it properly. And halfway through doing this homeless application, she went, "That's a nice pen, sweetheart. I'll fucking arm wrestle you for it." No word of a lie, ladies and gents. I had to sign it off in a big biro that was out the bottom of my bag. She had not lost any of that strength in 10 years, I tell you that. She was just fueled by cheap French lager. So, the other thing, which may surprise you, I don't have the physical strength to hold up a drunk 22-stone prostitute. Which I found out on the streets, and the nice thing was she offered me a place to stay. And you've hit the bottom rung of the ladder when you're looking at a prostitute thinking, you've made it. And it's a very lonely experience being homeless, and I just thought it might be quite nice if I stayed there, because she went, some of the customers, do come round. And I thought, I could do with a bit of male company. I could perhaps do some refreshments or something, just like, "Are you here for your fisting, Jeff? There's a prawn ring defrosting in the kitchen. You out yourself." I still had the PlayStation 1, that was one thing I salvaged, so I was like, I could perhaps do a FIFA tournament. Just like, if you could just finish doing your puppy play or whatever you're doing with her, and you've got Spain in the quarterfinals, that's all I'm saying. To be honest, and as a gay man, to be honest, the food would have been exceptional. She probably would have lost business, to be honest. They probably would have just come round and just come to Howard's Caff. So, putting cards in phone boxes, FIFA tonight. There's two things bloke love more than sex, it's FIFA and fucking food. So I was on to a winner. And the other thing that was the weirdest thing that I ever experienced on the street was I was in Salford bus station one morning. I nodded off, and this woman just put a ring of Iceland shopping bags around me, like some kind of corral, and then just woke me up and went, "Hey mate, do you want me to wank you off?" I was like, "I'm all right, to be honest. It's it's fine. Don't want the kids' tea to spoil." And in fairness, ladies and gents, the last time a woman gripped anything of mine, it cost me a night's sleep and a pen. But it does leave the one question. I have turned 42, ladies and gents, and I still don't know if I can come quicker than it takes to defrost potato waffles. I've been Howard Anstock, you've been fabulous.